My friends in Israel, the world doesn't hate you because of where you are. They hate you because of who you are. And they hate you because of whose you are. And I want to be very clear to say, as an outsider, they're not going to hate you less if you give in to their demands. The idea that somehow Israel can make everyone love them by giving in to their demands is nonsense. Because the hate that is expressed toward Israel is not political. It ultimately is spiritual, even if the haters understand it or not. And that's why it makes no sense at all for there constantly to be this pressure for Israel to give up the tiny little speck of land that it lives in and owns for the sake of a few. I carry around with me, and I showed it on television last week, and I got quite a response. You can't see it from where you are because it's a small little map. But this little map, if you can see the green area, this represents all of the Muslim nations that exist around the continents between Asia and Africa. And there's quite a bit of landmass. In fact, so much that you can clearly see the green versus anything else. What you probably can't see unless you're really close to me is right there in that tiny little speck. And it's so tiny you can't see it. There's a little bitty red dot. That's Israel. Most Americans have no clue what you face geographically. But I hold this up as a reminder that when people talk about a two-state solution, here's what they're basically suggesting. That the people to whom God gave this land over 3,000, almost 4,000 years ago, the people who live here and who have rights to this land, not only legally, religiously, biblically, politically, indigenously, but those people who have that little red dot should give up some of that red dot instead of any of those folks in that great big green territory giving up anything. And that somehow that makes sense. So I mentioned that this is a homeland. And the idea that somehow there should be more of surrender of the homeland to bring peace has no basis historically, legally, politically, biblically, or indigenously. And in fact, as has been mentioned several times by members of the Knesset, the reminder of what happened at Gush Katif and the